Yesterday, the 18th of April, I celebrated 43 years with brain injury. Break out the party hats! What have I learned over the last 4 decades plus about brain injury and recovery? Well, quite a bit. I happen to be an investigative person. I need to know how things happen and why. This is just part of my personality and started in my youth. For example, I invented a contraption to feed my basketball to me as I left my house to play. This proclivity has given me a lifelong interest in discovery. Back to brain injury. Bad news, but double the good news. The bad news is that serious brain injury lasts forever. The deficits that the blow, squish, or intracranial movement cause will most probably not go away, even after 43 years. This is still difficult for me to internalize. The concept is easy. Bringing it home to me and my life is much more challenging. The first good news is that recovery from brain injury also lasts forever. I've noticed improvements, albeit subtle, each and every year. The second good news is that we survivors can accelerate our improvement by working at it, by trying to focus, and by doing brain stimulating activities. A little story. I was told by my neurosurgeon that I would continue to improve for 1.5 to 2 years. Then I would reach a permanent and stationary condition. Well, April 18, 1975 was the worst day of my life, as that was my second rebirth day and I should not expect any further improvement. I was devastated. I couldn't focus. I was having substantial difficulties with my classwork. My memory was like a sieve, and I cried hard and often. But then, in time, I started noticing improvement. At first I thought it was just wishful thinking, but it soon became clear that there was actual improvement going on. Well, that highfalutin neurosurgeon was wrong. Ha! I was elated until I hit a plateau. Then my depression returned with a vengeance, as I was still quite impaired. But then, some years later, I found myself improving again. Then, later even than that, plateauing again. The third time I improved, I decided that I had to figure out what was happening, as this seemed so weird. I looked back at my old week at a glance books. We elders remember them. I kept them from 1975 on. One year I had 3 as I misplaced it twice. Now I write very small, one of the many gifts of my brain injury, so I could, and did, fill a lot of words and abbreviations into that small space. I went looking out for 2 things, what was going on in my life and how I was feeling, which I got from the tone of the writing. It took a long time to decipher my teeny tiny handwriting, but the results were worth all the time and eye strain. Every time I plateaued, when the tone of my writing was depressed, I wasn't going to school or working a mentally stimulating job. And every time I improved, as shown by my optimism and lighter tone of my writing, was when I was either going to school or working a mentally invigorating job. That discovery was so very important to me. I saw a path out of that mire of confusion and pain that was my life. By constantly seeking out mental stimulation to exercise my mind, I can continue to improve. Although I will admit to taking many vacations, short periods where I just gel and don't think about anything. In general, I have pretty consistently worked at working my mind. This has helped me move from a very slow thinker and speaker to a pretty keen thinker. And now I'm able to give speeches for Toastmasters and make video presentations like these about brain injury and recovery. That discovery made all the difference. So, while moving from a person with severe dysarthria, difficulty pronouncing words. Now why is that word so hard to pronounce? Some cruel jokester, I'm sure. To the world-class speaker before you now, I can offer brain injury survivors some hope that they can work through or work around their challenges. It is really possible.